Perfect. Look at that perfect pancake. Hi guys, this is Shane from the Wilderness Field Journal. For today's episode, we're going to be making a bush breakfast. And for those of you who don't know what I mean by a bush breakfast, I mean we're out in the bush, out in the woods, and we're going to be making a breakfast over this campfire. Cooking outdoors is one of my favorite things to do. I've made many meals over a campfire for myself or for large groups of friends and family. Today it's just going to be a real simple bush breakfast. We're going to do sausage, eggs, and pancakes, or as some would call them, flapjacks. In fact, I cook so many meals over campfires that sometimes people call me Flapjack. So we're going to get going here in a minute. I got some of my tools and supplies set up. I got plenty of firewood here. Just going to get this fire going, and in a minute we'll show you the ingredients we're going to work with. Alright, so next I wanted to go over a little bit about some of the ingredients we have to work with today. Brought them out here, my trusty little Playmate cooler. Never leave home without it. So I got some just organic eggs in this neat little 6-pack that I found. Got some Jimmy Dean sausage, sage flavor. That's going to be good. Also have some butter and some milk. All easily fits in my cooler. I actually was surprised that I found this perfect little 6-pack here. And then in my buckets with the gamma lids on top of them, we'll cover that in another episode, all about my bucket system. But in this bucket, I have some pre-made pancake mix that I made at home. Basically, this is just flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt, already measured out in this Ziploc bag for easy mixing on the trail. So before we get started here, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of my camp kitchen. Basically, I have all kinds of tools and supplies. This is my this is like a U.S. military surplus skillet with just a cheap spatula I got at the dollar store. Another cheap stainless steel pot I got at the dollar store with a Pathfinder alcohol stove going underneath it. I got some salt and pepper. Ancient hobo spices, as I like to call them, because they've probably been around forever. Just another cheap knife for cutting my meat. Over here I have things for my coffee. I'll show you guys that later. We're going to make some coffee. I also keep some paper towels and a little piece of cotton t-shirt rag handy. And one of the most important things besides cooking utensils to have when you're cooking is some oil. I keep some extra virgin olive oil in this little squirt bottle here. I also wanted to show you guys this little trick that I made. As we were sitting around the campfire last night, I whittled this stick. This is just a piece of mountain laurel branch that I whittled the end of it down here to make a perfect lifter for the lid on my pot. Also, this pot is an MSR Seagull. It's one of my favorite pots. I forget what size this is, but as you can see, I've used it a ton and it has never let me down. And I made a nice little lid lifter for it. Most of this wood I'm using here today is oak, which tends to burn very slow and hot. It gives you really good coals, and that's what I want to cook this sausage. Okay, I'm going to cut this sausage open. I really like this kind of sausage that comes in these packs. It's really good, but these packs are a mess. And I guess there's really not too much I can do about it except for cut it open and get going. Actually, if any of you guys have a tip for how to get this out of here without making such a mess, I'm all ears. So basically, I'm just going to make these into some little sausage patties here. And put it right on the grill. As I said, this is a messy process. I gotta be honest with you guys and tell you that this is a sausage technique I've never done before. Typically, if I'm cooking sausage over the fire, I would just cook it in a cast iron pot or in my MSR Seagull pot or something like that, or in the fry pan. But I like to be experimental when I'm cooking out in the woods. I like to try different things and sort of test out my cooking abilities. So we're going to try something different today. Make the sausage straight on the coals. Well, not straight on the coals, but on a rack on the coals. This sage sausage is a really good flavor. Sage is an ancient spice. I shouldn't say ancient, but it's something that has been used in America for a really long time. Obviously the Native Americans used it in ceremonies and such. And it's got a really unique flavor. Getting a little too close to the flames there, but we'll deal with that. Okay, now I gotta clean up because I am a mess. I have sausage slop all over my hands. I got some camp suds here though. I'm gonna step over here and wash my hands off. Perfect. The old water bottle fountain. Okay, what I'm going to do is move that guy. Might lose him. Ooh. There we go. So now I'm going to make the pancake mix. We need 1 egg. Open up this pack. One egg. Just kind of toss that egg in the fire. That will be fine. We need 2 tablespoons of oil, but I think I can eyeball 2 tablespoons pretty well, so I'm just going to okay. If you put a little too much oil in, that's not going to hurt it. And then 3/4 cups of milk. That I am. Normally you would whisk that, but because we're camping, quick and easy way to do this is just mix it in the bag. Okay, just getting that pan heated up a little bit. Throw in some butter. A little bit more butter. Dirt in there. People are all about non-stick cookware, which I understand non-stick cookware has its place, but me personally, I like good old stainless steel. As long as you're careful with your temperature and use plenty of grease, you'll be just fine. And we'll just squirt out a little of this pancake batter right into there. So I have a plate over here on the side so that when my pancakes get finished, I can just set them on that plate, put this lid on top to keep the ash out of them. Just because we're making campfire cakes doesn't mean we want to be making ash cakes. Oh, this is turning out good. Turning out real good. Let's kind of how campfire cooking is. You got to work with the fire, so it's more than just cooking, you're also fire tending at the same time. But something I find about cooking over a fire is that you can use fire like a tool, and you can adjust it in many different ways to get the temperature that you need. Look at that. That is a perfect pancake. Just trying to migrate these smaller, more done sausages to the side. Fortunately, I whittled this little food tending stick last night. Get this big guy here off to the side. Okay. Looks like we're going to need a little more firewood. Yep. There we go. Number one, done. I like to butter the pan between each pancake. It's not quite hot enough, but I'll just turn up my fire a little bit. Once that gets up to temp, still not quite there. May not look too great right now, but that's going to be a beautiful pancake. So, if you look at the top of that pancake, you can see there are bubbles bursting on the top of it, which is a telltale sign that it's ready to flip. But another thing you can notice, you might even be able to see in that sunlight, the surface is a little more solid. It's not quite so liquidy. That means that it's starting to cook all the way through. Let's just get in there. Perfect. Look at that perfect pancake. That's why they call me Flapjack. Perfect. Done. Wouldn't think to cook a pancake in a pan like this, or in a pot like it's not even a pan, it's a pot. Also, a lot of people would not use a stainless steel pan to cook pancakes like this. They'd use a non-stick one. But as you can see, these pancakes aren't sticking at all. It's all about using plenty of butter and temperature control. If you get that temperature too high, you're going to burn it to the pan. So you got to just use your butter and use your judgment to when it gets too hot. No bushcraft tricks over here, just simple alcohol stove with a stainless steel pot full of water on top of it. You know, so many people, when they come out into the woods and camp, they try and make their meals as simple as possible. It's literally a bag that you open up, pour boiling water in, let it sit for a while, and there's your breakfast. I'm sure a lot of people watch this video and think that, like, why are you spending so much time to make this complicated meal over a campfire? But that's the way I like it. I'm doing it for fun. A lot of people would come out here and just eat a freeze-dried backpacking meal for breakfast, and they'd be fine with that. I mean, I would be fine with that as well. I'm not a picky eater, but I love camping and I love cooking. So if I can do the two of them at the same time, it makes it all that much more fun for me. When you're working around a campfire, every single thing gets dirt and soot and dust on it. It's just kind of something you have to live with when you're cooking around a fire. Alright, well, it appears that our water is finally boiling over here. It probably actually has been boiling for a minute. I haven't been paying attention to it. But the good old alcohol stove won't let you down. So now we're going to make a little bit of coffee. And I'm going to show you a little trick that I use. I'll probably show you guys this again in another video. Basically, when I make coffee in the woods, I just use one of these little baskets that you can buy that goes inside of an automatic coffee maker. I fill my water so that it does not go over the top, and then I just put some coffee grinds that also do not go near the top, and I just dunk this right in, let it steep for a while, and you have a pot of coffee. Got to get that coffee wet. Basically, you got to get the water to mix with the coffee for it to brew properly. Looks like we're pretty much there. You can already see it's starting to look like some delicious coffee. Stir it around a little bit. Definitely needs to come off the heat. Look at that flame going. And that's about it. Just let this sit for a while, soak up the coffee. That's how you put that stove out. And for the eggs. Just gonna take my pan. Get a good fire going on. Get a little bit of butter in the pan. That's how you know it's hot enough. Hear that sizzle. Ah, yes. Ancient hobo spices. A little salt, a little pepper. Still not quite enough heat on that fire. It's cooking now. See, it's not cooking up real fast, but that's okay. You'd rather cook this egg more slowly than more quickly because it can burn very easy. Yet again, cooking an egg in a stainless steel pan. So you can see, even though I'm frying this egg in the bottom of a stainless steel pot, look how it slides around on there. It's all about temperature control and oil, or in this case, butter. I can get in there, do a good flip, up, broke the yolk. No big deal. I'll eat a broken yolk. Guess it's gonna be over hard. So breakfast is just about done. Look at that egg is cooked perfectly, nice and golden on the bottom. Get this pan off of here so it doesn't burn. I'll just kind of flip a sausage or two onto there. That's great. And last but certainly not least is the pancakes. Now that is a meal fit for a king right there. Pancakes, fried egg, sage sausage. Oh, hey guys. Thanks again for joining me for this video today. Man, this is an awesome breakfast. Found a nice little spot under this beech tree to sit and enjoy it. Took a little while to make, but it was well worth it. Let me tell you, it is good. And I am hungry. Have a little cup of coffee with it. Typically not a huge coffee drinker, but sometimes around a campfire it's just perfect. Well, I hope you guys come back and join me for the next video. Until then, have a good time and thanks for watching.